Go for the stars.
4, 3, 2, 1.
This is the Produce Your Own Life podcast. Life is a script. It's time to write your story. Welcome your host, actor, director, producer, writer, and author of the recently released book, Shattered, A Journey Through the Pieces, the man who inspires millions through storytelling and interviews, the one, the only, Rodney Damon Collins.
What's up, everybody? This is the Produce Your Own Life podcast. My name is Rodney. I am the host and creator of the show. I want to thank you all for listening. Thank you all for subscribing, liking, and sharing this show. We are now in 12 countries, and we thank you very much for those 12 countries that subscribe and show love to this show. Continue to share this movement throughout. Make sure you can watch the broadcast. You can watch it via Facebook. You can watch it via Twitter. You can watch it via YouTube. So we thank you very much. Today, I'm excited because the two guests I have today exemplify what our show is about, producing your own life and owning your own life and taking personal accountability. I have Bob Baratwal, who is a filmmaker and as award-winning filmmaker. He has a film entitled Enter the Diamond that we're going to discuss. And we have some other film projects that we're going to discuss as well. And then also we have the director of the film, Heavenly Deposit, and actor from recently Disney's Oscar-nominated film, Soul. So without further ado, George, Vincent, and Baratwal, y'all show some love for them right now. Yes. Boom.
Hey, Rodney. Thank you for having us on the show. Hi, Rodney. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, now we're really official. So this is good. I normally do my show on Tuesdays, so my son normally produces and does all the behind the scenes, and he's not available today. So this is how we roll.
I love it. One man show.
That's it. Hey, I'm owning my own life. I'm the producer of my own life too.
Right on, yeah.
And now I not only preach it, but I live it. So, man, we're going to be talking today about some of the films that you guys have been working on and projects, and really the message behind these stories and what we want the crowd, the audience, to take away after listening to you guys talk. And I want to make sure that everybody stays with you guys and follows and subscribes to all the platforms you guys have available, so we can continue to get the word out about this beautiful thing that's taking place, this beautiful independent film movement that's taking place here in Hollywood. So, Bob, when we first met, there was a film, Enter the Diamond, that we talked about, and I remember hearing about and seeing your passion about it. Do you want to just break it down a little bit to us, what that movie is about and what drove you to make this film?
Oh, sure. I'd love to. Originally, we came up with this concept of doing a spy film, and I love the 1970s, and I grew up in the 70s. So it was a kind of, ripe with so many things, great music, fashion, culture, everything. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice to create a kind of spy film in that era and then change it up? Instead of having the traditional role of a James Bond type character, we brought in our, the first African character, so Afro-Anglo character, to play a type of secret agent. Okay. And his name is Rene Diamant, or the Black Diamond. And hence the movie Enter the Diamond, enter the character. Yeah. And we based it in Los Angeles. And it's about, England's first, intelligence officer of African descent named Rene Diamant, whose first mission is to recover stolen state secrets. But right from the get-go, his mission goes wrong. And he's given a second chance to redeem himself by traveling to Los Angeles to recover the stolen secrets. And along the way, he encounters a lot of obstacles. And one of the biggest obstacles is our antagonist, Mr. Wynn, played by George Vincent. Exactly. And George, I approached George with the script, and George is traditionally more of the heroic type. He does a lot of roles where he's the good guy. And I think one of the reasons that I hope that caught his eye was, one, because of the script, and number two, that I was giving him something that he had never really done before, played the villain, played the antagonist instead of the protagonist. And so I thought, I'm offering something. It's an independent film. It's a feature film. We're in post-production right now. And, when George signed on, and when Devon, our lead, signed on, and then slowly the other actors came on board, I was very blessed. They came on board and they believed in the story. They believed in their characters. They believed in me, and they trusted me to, drive this thing as the writer director on this film. So, I'm very fortunate and very thankful to George. Among all the other actors, our production staff, our post-production staff, I mean, everyone involved, I'm very blessed to have them in my life and be a part of this.
Man, I love that. George, how did you feel about playing the villain? Because I don't know how you feel, but I always get pegged as a good guy too. So I love to play the villain at times because it allows me to expand my reach. What do you think?
For sure. It is, it's very, especially if you live a decent lifestyle, right? To be able to sink your teeth into something where it's not you per se, but boy, is it fun to live things out. Yes. So thoroughly enjoyed it. When Bob brought me the script and he, by the way, what a class act this is. I'm not kidding.
Right back at you.
When he first approached me on the script, he did it in such a way that was just, this is, he takes what supposedly is supposed to happen and makes it and takes it to that level. He took me out to this one place. It's like very exclusive. And we went there and he's like, hey, I've got the script for you, would you be interested? And the way he did it, I was like, wow, this is like amazing. This is classy Hollywood class, and I just, when I read it, I said, Bobby, I'm honored. I said, I want to do this. I'd love to do this. So, he wrote it brilliantly. It was such a fun script, as an actor, as to have to really just sink your teeth into a role that is just so well defined, that it doesn't get any better than that. So it was that. And then of course, while shooting, I will say this, Bobby's style is great because he allows you the freedom to basically bring your own creativity. Of course, he wants what he wants, but at the same time, it's that freedom that he gave everyone on set was stellar.
Thank you, kind words, George. It was great to work with George, and amongst all the other actors, they were just so easy to work with. It was a collaboration, an effort that was, not me telling him what to do, but us coming together and deciding the best way to tell the story. And George was, perfect example of that. He'd say, well, I think my character will do this more. And I said, okay, let's talk about it. Let's run it through and let's see. And, if it worked, it worked, and we used it, And sometimes George would say, okay, well, I'm not sure. And then we tried it my way. And, sometimes that would work as well. So it was give and take. I think that's, as a filmmaker, that's one thing I learned, as this is my first feature film, is, giving and taking, not just being, stuck and just into your own script and the way you envision your film. I think you have to be open as a writer director, especially as a director, to your actors, their input and their perception of what their character is, how the story is moving forward. I think if you don't acknowledge that, you're really missing out on their creativity, and that's really, they're bringing the story to life.
I love that because, Bob, just the time that I've known you, we first got together, I think it was somewhere around October, maybe September last year. That's when we came over to your home, and he can cook a great steak.
Oh, absolutely.
You said sink your teeth, George. I was thinking about that steak I ate. It was so good.
You have to come back and you have another one. Your plate is waiting. Your steak knives are waiting.
And everything you said about Bob is so true. That humility, because to me, that's, as an actor, that's one of the biggest things is for a director to trust you with the character. To say, I hired you to do this role. I brought you in to do this role. There's certain things I want out of the character, but I trust you to bring it out. So that's what I love about Bob. I really do. I've seen that in him. So what's the plans for Enter the Diamond? Because my understanding is that the film recently won an award at a film festival too, correct?
Well, Enter the Diamond is really two films: a feature film titled Enter the Diamond, and then our animated film, which is all, again, an independent film called Enter the Diamond Origins. Yes. So Enter the Diamond Origins was released last year, and we did the festival circuit, and we got into about 11 film festivals and won Best Animated Short at the Nollywood Film Festival in Toronto, Canada, where I'm from. I'm Canadian, so my hometown of Toronto, so it kind of felt nice to have that recognition in my own hometown, my city. And so Enter the Diamond Origins is the animated film that we won an award. Enter the Diamond, the feature film, we're still in post-production and hope to release it this year into the film festival. And so that's our hope, is to get it out there to the film festivals, our feature film, and then onto a streaming platform at some point. But we've had a lot of challenges. Unfortunately, my dear friend, like a younger brother to me, like family, Devon Russell Hendy, he was a star of our film and is the star of our film. He tragically passed away 2 years ago. And we were able to finish the film, but post-production's been challenging. But I feel that this film is going to honor his work, his life, who he is. And I think by releasing this feature film, we want the world to know what an enormous talent he was, and what a great individual he is, and was, and will always be remembered. So I think this is his legacy in Hollywood. I think he always wanted this in life. And one of the things that Devon had mentioned to me before is that if you can't be a star in this life, be a star in the next life. That's his parting words to me. And I think in this life, I want to make sure people remember him.
Man, I love that. And as far as you said you want to have it released later on this year or film festival, right?
Yes.
Well, it's been in film festivals, correct?
No, the feature film, we're not in film. The animated
Okay.
was in festivals. Yes, the
I just
feature
want to
film.
make sure I'm hearing correctly. So the goal is to, man, and anything I want to help push it out there as much as possible, because I want to see it come to fruition as well. I've seen your passion, and having the opportunity to meet Devon's mother, Grace, who was just amazing. Her name fits her perfectly. She is such a sweetheart, and I'm like, we got to see this film happen. So part of what I'm going to be doing is pushing this out there as much as possible. Like, people need to watch this interview, watch this. Just let me know your thoughts on this. So anything I can do to help push it out.
Well, thank you. Well, also we have our website for enterthediamondorigins.com and enterthediamond.com, where we show some stills behind the scenes. We talk about some of the actors and kind of where the concept came from. We also did a graphic novel called Enter the Diamond Origins. So that's our comic book. And with the comic book, we did these wonderful, kind of a playing card or action cards, like baseball cards, where we have Devon Russell. I don't know if you can see here, and then on the back, we give a little character breakdown. And here's George Vincent playing Mr. Wynn.
Yes.
And a little breakdown of who the character is. So we did all these characters. I'll show you my card. This is my card. I play the Mad Dog, Inspector Chavez. So that's me.
All right. Yes.
Breakdown of who I am. And had a lot of fun. So we went to Comic-Con a couple years ago, Los Angeles Comic-Con, where we featured our comic book. We featured the trailer for the independent animated short, and for our independent feature film, we showed our trailer. So we had a wonderful time. George was there signing autographs. Devon was there. A lot of our cast. Nicole Watson, who plays Penelope Webb. Joe Han, who plays the Sleeping Dragon, who's in here. On this side here. So we had most of our actors come and sign autographs, meet fans and children and adults alike. It was a wonderful time, a wonderful experience. And Devon, bless his soul, he was there and was able to sign autographs and take pictures. We had interviews with TV people, and we had a lot of fun, didn't we, George?
It was amazing. It really, really was. To see like our group all there, and just literally watching the faces of people as they come up asking for your autograph, and just us having a great time. We're just very humble, but at the same time, boy, that day was very special. Yeah, it really was. It was a great time, and I'm so glad that I could be a part of it, to be there with Devon and Bobby and the whole team. So it was something that will always be remembered, always.
Man, you guys actually just kind of took me there, because one of the best feelings as a creative is to see when somebody gets excited about your art, or like your story impacts them. And that's what I tell people is not that you want them to love you and lovely need you and stuff like that, but you see that they've been impacted by what you are doing. And that's what I felt just from you guys talking about it. That whole day, it was just like a celebration. People coming around. It wasn't about me, look at me. It's no, look at what we done. Look at the people. It was a united thing. That's the beauty of art. That's what I love about that. And George, that just leads me to talk a little bit, talk about Heavenly Deposit, man. This movie touched so many people, and I definitely seen that work, so I know that that's in you. So you want to break it down with us?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So I had this basically Heavenly Deposit is my story of coming to God at a point in my life where things were really, really tough. They were really difficult and just, a lot of hardships. And I had this experience that literally did bring me to God. And the moment was so powerful that I found myself literally sharing that experience with people wherever I was. All I really wanted to do was give people hope.
Yeah.
That moment, that's what it did. It gave me hope. It lifted my spirits to a point where, I was like, I didn't have to face these things on my own. That's what happened. And so I just started sharing that story, just, talking to people wherever I was, gas station, supermarket, wherever, just saying, hey, can I share a story with you? And I would do it in a way that it was just, like I said, my whole purpose was just to give them hope. And if there was something in their life that maybe would mirror them, that they would kind of like put them on a certain path, maybe that would help them as well. And so I would do that wherever I was. And then always really the reaction was just like, people would get like teary eyed, not because I bored them, but because it just touched their hearts what that moment did. And after that, I just, they're like, thank you for sharing that. And then one day I ended up telling a gentleman who ended up being a minister.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, this is so powerful. He goes, you have to make this into a film. You got to share it with the world.
Mm-hmm.
And once I thought about that, I was like, really? Okay. So that really got me going to make this into a film.
Yes.
That's how the whole thing came about. And Heavenly Deposit, oops.
Yeah.
That's
Put that up there.
Yep, that's our baby right here. And I got to tell you, it's just the whole process of putting the film together was incredible. Incredible. I did not know how to do certain things, a lot of things, because I've never been a filmmaker. I was an actor all my life. But I trusted in him, and he opened up all the right doors. And I mean, incredible stories. And Bobby was in it. And, it was so much fun working with all these wonderful people. And we got, Ella Joyce is in it.
I love Ella Joyce too.
What an incredible talent. We have her, we have Barry Van Dyke, we have Peter Jason, we have John Savage. That, and there's so many people that really just put their hearts and their talents into this movie. And I can tell you, the movie won most inspirational feature film won at the Hollywood Divine International Film Festival. We won also in Argentina as best narrative feature film. And we got distribution in the US and Canada. And then we just about 3 weeks ago, I believe 3 weeks ago, we got international distribution.
Oh, wow.
So this is, like I said, he's been opening up all the doors. I just say, let's just go to work. Just go to work. And then, so we've been blessed.
You've given me the chills up my back. And I have a lot of encouragement for myself just listening to you, because too often people believe that if I want to be successful in Hollywood, I need Hollywood to give me permission. And this is not a knock against Hollywood. We know that there's certain things that you have, that's certain times there's a wall there sometimes. But you guys are taking ownership and you're creating the stories. And that's what makes Hollywood say, hey, tell us your story now. It's weird. It's such a weird thing, but that's how it is. I've learned that from watching Tyler Perry, with how he built what he does. He was like, he wouldn't build his own table. And that's what you guys are doing. He was like, I can't sit at the table. I'm going to build a table.
Right.
Before you know it, they want to connect that table to their table. And that's the beauty of this.
No, I agree.
Go ahead.
I was so fortunate that George included me in his film. I was very grateful. It's to be a part of that film. It was a wonderful story, I mean, it's about his life, and it was really an honor and a privilege to be a part of that film. And the fact that it's reached so many people, as George said, and touched so many people's lives, brought them back to God. I mean, that's amazing. Whether you win an award or not, that's the award in itself. I mean, that's fantastic. So kudos to George for writing, directing, and starring in this wonderful film.
Thanks, Bobby.
You know, a pastor once said that if Jesus walked the earth today, is that he will be a filmmaker, because you know, you look in the Bible as parables. Parables are basically short films, you know, films and stories. So that's why I love working in this industry too. We have the opportunity to work in the most influential industry in the world, so that we hold that burden, that responsibility. And I just talking to you guys right now, I feel like you really are carrying that, like, you know, this is a responsibility. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, George?
I love this. You see this? Hey, Bob, George? For me, I definitely say it's a responsibility, you know, leave people better off than when you found them. You know, that was, like I said, the whole point of this film. And because we have this platform, you know, I know that people kind of pay attention to us now. Yes. So it's something that, you know, you got to live right, because you're in the spotlight, and the thing is that you want to be able to, you know, it's when it's genuine, people know it. Mm. If you're genuinely that person, you can't hide it, right? So if you're not that guy, and you're playing a role of being that individual, people will sniff that out. So, you know, to me, it's better to live it and just be that person. And again, always with the intention of leaving people better off than when you found them. Yeah.
No, Bobby? Well, for me, I think, you know, as a filmmaker, my film isn't it's not a faith-based film, but it's an action film. And what I wanted to bring to the table is to create roles that a lot of the actors that I work with would normally not get. Heroic roles where you'd say they're supposed to be typecasted as maybe if they're lucky, the anti-hero, but most likely the villain. So I wanted to give roles to people that I thought they were capable of carrying and performing and bringing to life, that were honorable roles, that were roles that they could sit back and say, wow, I'm happy I played that character. I played it to my best. I'm proud of the work I did in your film. And so I thought I brought some a different kind of experience to a lot of ethnic actors, the minority as well, to cast Devon Russell as the hero, the leading man, the first, a secret agent of African descent.
Yes, that's huge.
I don't think anyone's done that in a dramatic way. Just that alone, to create Asian characters that are heroic.
Yes.
To create Latin characters that were heroic, maybe the anti-hero, but still heroic in their own way. So I think that's what I wanted to bring. I wanted to show Hollywood that I think every ethnicity has a part to play in film. Yes. And I think we're capable of, if given a chance, we're capable of taking on any kind of role.
And we're capable of bringing big box office too. Because that's what I love is like the more, it seems like, this is a great opportunity, a great time to be a filmmaker, actor, creative, living in Hollywood, because there is like a shift that's taking place. And right now, I think we all have to just jump at it and be ready to go with our stories. When you build relationships, seek them out and see what, see what's in there, because not just be like friends and hang out, but there's some things that are building, because you're going to make differences in this industry. And that's the way I look at even, Bob, how we've had a chance to get to know each other. I know you and I both have been kind of busy, but I definitely look forward to hooking up, and then, we'll be busy in a little bit together. And man, George, I definitely can't wait to meet you, man. Like, just sit down and just talk more. Even if you could share more about, because you were in the movie Soul, which is animated, and that's another area that we as actors, I like to do animation. I want to do that type of stuff. Share that experience with us.
Wow, it was one of those moments that had the audition, and basically because I'm Greek, they said, hey, put this down and send it in for the audition. I did, and pleasantly surprised, I got a call, and they're like, "All right, so you're going to be going in, blah blah blah, and go over to the studio." And so I get there, and there's probably about maybe 15 people, 12 to 15 people in there. It's a big room. Peter, Doctor, everybody, everyone's there, and there's one mic in the center of the room. Now, I've never done an animated, job like this, where so I'm up there, and so we're sitting there, and then all of a sudden they would say, "Okay, so they would say, Bob, come on up," and then you go up there, and he's like, "Hey, do your best Abraham Lincoln by saying this." Say this in your best Abraham Lincoln, and it was a little unnerving because you're amongst everyone there, but then at the same time, once you're down and you're focused, you do your thing,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's what they did, and everyone took turns doing whatever they were brought in to do per se, and it was an awesome experience, and there was one thing that I specifically remember doing. There was various roles, there was various lines that we did,
Mm-hmm.
but there was one in particular that had to do with gyro, and in Greek, this is called a gyro, which is the gyro. People call gyro, and when people do that, I'm just like gyro. So it was like right up my alley. And in the role in the movie, there's a moment in there where someone is correcting someone how to say it, and it was funny because basically we were given the direction to use that, but to say it, to correct them, and it was done in a way that the direction was you're correcting them, they're not understanding it, and then you get frustrated, and you can only use that word to correct him in a way, and then it escalates. So I was like, this is cool. So there was a few other people that did it, and so I did my work, had a wonderful time, and it was a great experience. And then a few months later, time passes,
Mm-hmm.
Soul comes out, didn't think anything of it, and my wife goes, "Hey, Soul's out," and blah blah blah, and she goes, "Did you get credit for that?" And I said, "I don't know." And she goes, "Why don't you look?" And I said, "I'll check it out." It took about 3 weeks for me to look up IMDb and see. And long story short, I look it up, and as I'm looking through, there's a George Vincent there. But it's no, Rodney, it wasn't me.
What?
Yeah, so I'm sitting there going, that's weird. I mean, what are the chances of having two George Vincents in a movie?
Yeah.
And so I started, sniffing around, and I'm like, I bet you this is the wrong guy. They credited the wrong individual. Yes. And that's exactly what it was. It took me like four times to contact, IMDb and everything. And they finally, I said, listen, I have all my pay stubs. I have I worked. I said, where do you want me to, email you this stuff? They changed it after that, But I was sitting there going, hey, this is a pretty darn good credit. I said, it would be a shame not to get it. But it turned out great. And I still haven't seen it yet.
Oh, I watched it and I loved it. I watched it the day it came out. So I loved it. Yeah.
Did you hear George's part, his character?
Yeah, when he was doing voices and stuff. But yeah, like all the characters in there, it was pretty cool how they put together this soul world, almost little thing. I liked it. It was a nice message with it. I guess that's why it's nominated for the
Academy Award. Yeah. And one thing I want to just kind of add on to what George said. It said, yes, it's his first time as in an animated feature film, but not his first time in an animated film. Enter the Diamond Origins, a short film he was in, and he was also in another animated short film previous to that. So this was his first. Yeah, so he's done animation before. So with the children's
it's true.
Animation. Yeah, so he's done officially 3 animated films, 2 short, and a feature, a huge feature with Disney.
Yeah, that's one of my dreams. I love doing that, and I think I can create some funny little voices, but also I think my voice by itself is good for it. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Well, Rodney, don't forget, that leads us into my next project,
That's hey, I was getting ready to segue. My man, I love it.
There you go.
Well, our next project, and George is also part of that. He reprises his role as Mr. Wynn. The movie is called Resurrection, and it's a superhero movie about a Cambodian monk, or a man raised by Cambodian monks. And I don't want to give too much of the story because we're in pre-production now. You're in the film, Rodney. Of course, as I mentioned, George is in there as Mr. Wynn. Rodney plays a monk with superheroic powers. And our plan for that is yep, exactly, flex. It's going to be a fun time. I hope it's going to be a fun time for you, because it's going to be a fun time for me. I hope you enjoy the experience. And we're hoping to also do an animated short for that as well, for Resurrection, a comic book, a graphic novel for that as well, just along the lines of Enter the Diamond. So we'd like to know, we're going to feature yourself, your character, George's character. So we'd like to do the same thing and do an animated film. So hopefully I'll be the first one to give you that opportunity to be in an animated superhero film. We're trying to do that with a wonderful gentleman who's just graduating from film school and is eager to get started doing it. He got his degree in 3D animation, and a wonderful guy that's really eager to work with us. And we're looking to have this out next year. So your dreams of wanting to be in a superhero comic book and a superhero cartoon, they're going to come true. They're going to come true.
And that's the amazing thing, Bob, is that when we met, we just sat down and just talked. And your heart is just amazing, because when you offered me just a role and wanted to do more work with me, it blessed me. It blew me away, because I'm not used to that type of generosity, especially out here. So it blew me away. And that's why I'm glad that we're all connected. And I think we're going to continue to build and, look out, Hollywood. I always hashtag myself Black James Bond or in Hollywood Takeover. Those things, and I'm like, we're coming, and not to, move nobody out the way, but, hey, it's enough pie for everybody. We just want our slice now and to tell our stories. That's all we want to do, man. I'm excited, man. So we talked about a couple other film projects. What else is going on? Because I just know you got stuff cooking, man. I know that you.
Well, we have another short film that we're in pre-production right now. Then, of course, you're a part of. In fact, to let everyone know, you're the star of this film. It's a short film called The Expectation.
Yeah.
Expectation's a interracial love story that centers around two law students around the Christmas holidays. I've always wanted to do a Christmas film, and we hope to do the short film in the spirit of Christmas.
Yes. And
to showcase a lot of wonderful actors. You being the lead, your son playing the supporting lead in this role, a new upcoming actor, so Josiah. So Collins, and we're really fortunate to have him on board, to have your wife on board as an actor as well, and it's a lot of other people that are involved in this project, in this short film.
Yes.
And I'm really excited about it. One of my dear friends who's done all our design work for my posters, Mr. Sean Simmons of iDesign, has designed the poster for it. He's designed posters for Enter the Diamond, for Enter the Diamond Origins, everything we do, The Expectation, Resurrection. He's a wonderful, talented guy, and he does this for free. I have to point that out. He did it for free because, like a lot of other people who've been part of these projects, they've come on board because they've believed in me and the story. It's truly independent. And they've gone, Bob, whatever we can do, we'll take a negotiated rate or work for free, all these kinds of things. And I'm blessed to have that opportunity to work with people who just believe in the story and say, you know what, I believe in it. I want the story to be told, and whatever I can do to help you, Bob, including George. George has been a big part. He's producer on Enter the Diamond. He's producer on Enter the Diamond Origins. So he's been a great help. You yourself being producer on The Expectation, and also producer on now the upcoming Resurrection, our superhero short film. So I'm blessed to have both of you in my life to come on board and believe in me and bring your talents and your gifts to these projects. So thank you both.
Oh, man.
Man, I'm so excited. I hope people, as they listen to this, really understand what this is about. Like, our relationships were built organically. There was nothing fake about it. We just came together. We're like-minded people. And so therefore you end up naturally just start building together. And just sitting here talking to you right now, Bob, I'm like chilled all up. I got my hair on my arms, little hair on my arms, and standing up. Because now I'm ready to shoot now. I was like, okay, and we got our table read this Sunday, and it's just like a lot of excitement coming up, and a lot of good people coming together, and it's really, and yeah, you're giving me the dream of being my first Christmas film. You know, I wanted to be in certain films, and I was like, man, like just answering dreams, like dreams that I've had. I'm like, thank God. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And, you know, that brought us together was, you know, Grace, Devon's mother. I'm very thankful for her. She introduced me to you. And that's kind of an interesting story in itself. You know, Grace originally, I've been in close contact with Grace for many years now. Grace Hendy, who's Devon's mother, the star of our films. And she's, you know, has this wonderful online podcast and radio show that she's part of, Level Up, out of Atlanta, Georgia. And 2 years ago, they invited myself on separately and invited George. And George can talk about his experience on her show to come and talk about our films and to really share our experience and our life story on Level Up. And from there, she introduced me, said, listen, I met this wonderful individual that came on my program. This is Grace telling me, named Rodney Damon Collins. I said, okay, well, where does he live? Oh, he lives in your neck of the woods. He's in, you know, Los Angeles. I'm like, fantastic. And then she said, you know, he's an actor. He's a producer, a very talented individual. He's a believer. And when she told me, read me your resume, I was like, my goodness, I gotta meet this guy. Even if it's just to make a friend, what a friend this person could hopefully become in my life. Yeah. And just like George, the same way. When I met George on the film set of an online film called Arcanum. And when I met George, the same thing. The experience I met, I said, wow, this guy's energy. He was so generous, so giving, and just a wonderful human being. I said, I gotta write a story, and he's got to be in it. He's got to be a lead. He's got to be one of the stars of my film. And then I prayed to Almighty God that he wants to be a part of the story. And you know, and he did, and that was a godsend. And so just the same energy I felt from George, the same energy I felt when I met you, and I had you over to the house, and we, you know, broke bread together, and you didn't say anything bad about my steak, so I knew that you enjoyed it.
If it wasn't good, I would have been very polite, but I destroyed the steak. There was nothing left.
Thank you. Thank you. And as I said, you're always welcome, both of you, to come back anytime to break bread and just talk about film. That's what we have in common. You know, we're all believers. Yes. I think we all want to help each other.
Yes.
I think all three of us love great food.
We need to, even offline, we need to actually set a date in the next few weeks. If we do it like right after Easter, let's try to set a date where we can get together. Because I just wanted to sit down and hang out, especially with COVID starting to lift and getting vaccinated. I know you're fully vaccinated. You know.
I'm vaccinated, yes.
George, are you? They won't let me yet. I still want to get them. I'm like, please, just come on. It's over with.
That's cool. You know, everyone has their idea of what, you know, to do, and you know, I fall on the other side a little bit. I'm just like, you know what, I'm good. You know, as long as there's like therapeutics or whatever, I'm okay with that. So, but no, whatever, as long as the person is happy and they can make their own decision, sure.
And that's one thing. It's one thing, Rodney, that you know, it's kind of slowed everyone down in Hollywood. Slowed life down for everyone. Yes. Is the coronavirus, unfortunately, has you know, really hit home to, you know, us personally, to the film industry as well, and you know, has kind of stalled a lot of our projects. And now the you know, because of the vaccine and other things going on, we're hoping to start production on a lot of these things over the summer.
Yes.
So that's our goal, is to hope as the numbers come down, hopefully we're able to, you know, we practice universal precautions, do our due diligence, and make sure everyone's safe on set. Yes. And move forward with all these wonderful projects that we have, you know, down the pipe.
I believe it's getting ready to happen, and we're going to see a lot of great things happen over the next year and a half, 2 years, as we continue to build. You guys want to mention the names of your production companies? Because I know you both have produced films, so you probably have production companies. You know.
Well, with Heavenly Deposit, we have Effect Productions, which is my producing partner, Rick Irvin, who is fantastic. I mean, so essential in this thing. We work together from the start to the end. Again, Rick Irvin, and it's Effect Productions. And Heavenly Deposit is also the name of the company, but also the name of the film. Cool. And then, those are the two companies. Yeah.
And for me, my film production company, of course, independent film production company, is entitled Arc Reactor Productions. And the company for our films, Enter the Diamond, it's its own company in itself. But our production company that we're launching all these other films, The Expectation, Resurrection, anything we could do in the future is under Arc Reactor Productions, which I was really happy to start with the help of a lot of people. My partner in the Arc Reactor Productions and everything we do, and he's an executive producer is my friend and dear friend Vivek Kona. And Vivek Kona was a former Sony Films executive.
Oh, wow.
And a good friend of mine. And when he heard about all these wonderful projects and showed him the script for Enter the Diamond Origins, for Resurrection, he signed on as producer because he was very excited about these stories and these films that we were about to create. So I'm very fortunate. I'm going to give a big shout out to Vivek Kona, who's now in India, in Bangalore, India. So hopefully, this podcast will reach out to him. If not, we got to make sure people in India hear about your own Build Your Own Life podcast as well. Produce Your Own Life.
We do have some listeners in India, so that is a good thing.
Good.
Yeah, it's kind of, we have listeners in India, Russia, UK, China, a lot of different countries. I was surprised, but I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but what I need to do is that we closed out because I don't want to take too much of you guys' time. It's Friday. It's a day off for you, Bob. You probably want to do some relaxation or whatever.
Well, believe it or not, Rodney. Before you go, George and I have started we're co-founders of a YouTube channel and online TV show based on our company called the Los Angeles Institute for Film Excellence, or LIFE. And it's about putting indie back into independent film. So we're featuring independent producers, writers, directors, actors, production people, post-production people, pre-production people, anyone that has to do with independent, even people who love to watch independent film. Yeah. So George is our host and star of the show, and he interviews all our wonderful guests. And you will be one of our guests, and we, many thanks to you. Next month, so we're going to have you on our show. So, which is what we're going to be working on today. So, working on our online YouTube channel and our website and our show. And one day, actually, our goal, George and I, we want to have our own independent film festival, a true independent film festival, and that's our goal. So, those are the things we're working on today. In fact, so we never stop working. We love creating. We have fun doing it. So it's not work; it's fun. So creating, eating well. Great company. I mean, come on. You can't beat that. You really can't.
Life's good like that, man.
Not intended. I like it.
I love this conversation and the whole independent film market. I think this is a tremendous time for us. This is an opportunity that I really am excited to see what the future looks like. You see us on various streaming services, which I think they're here to stay. That's one of the blessings of COVID. I think that's going to be here to stay. And streaming is going to grow out more and more and more. So it's going to even open up, more doors for us. Because, hey, man, we're going to be able to get in people's homes all across the world now, just from being on a streaming service. So it's a great time. And YouTube is, to me, an incredible platform.
It is.
Get the word out. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, it makes so many millions every hour. YouTube does still. It's like still the best platform to get your word out. I love all the other platforms, but YouTube is still king. It really is. So if you guys want to give your social media handles, because so they can show some love to you and follow and like and share everything, go ahead, drop that for us right now.
All right. Thank you. So for Heavenly Deposit, just Heavenly Deposit at let's see here, www.heavenlydeposit.com. That's the website. We're on like 9 different platforms, the movie, Amazon Prime, all that stuff. So it would be heavenlydeposit.com. And we also have a YouTube channel. So definitely find the YouTube channel, because the stories, I'm not kidding, there are stories of how Heavenly Deposit came to be. Literally the moments of how we brought in either the actors or just all these incredible behind the scenes stories of how God literally guided our film are there. So I built this channel right now over there. It's fantastic. So check it out. Heavenly Deposit channel on YouTube.
Yes, we'll definitely be subscribing. We're going to make sure everybody subscribe. I'm going to keep talking about it.
And for me, you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook for Enter the Diamond, and our website, enterthediamond.com, and for the animated film, enterthediamondorigins.com. And our website is coming soon for the Los Angeles Institute for Film Excellence, called LA Film Excellence, LAInstituteFilmExcellence.com. It's a mouthful, but we'll get the word out there. But we're also on Instagram as well. So.
Man, I can't wait for the Life T-shirts to come out.
You're gonna be one to get one right away. So trust me.
And I'll patronize if I don't have to get free. I'll buy it. I'll buy one.
That'll be a gift to you when you come on our show next month.
Oh well, hey, I've learned. I accept gifts. I accept them. I used to be prideful, like, no, I don't need no gifts. No, I'll accept the gift.
Bring them.
Bring the gifts.
One quick thing.
Yes.
This has got your name on it. All right.
That's your copy.
If you haven't seen the movie, it's yours. We'll get it to you. All right.
Okay. And I think I have one, but I would love to have one autographed.
Okay.
Hey, you have not because you asked not.
That's right.
There you go.
Absolutely.
I just want to thank you guys, man. You've blessed my show, my platform, but you've also blessed my life personally. So to me, that means even more to me. And that's, I want to get super, super emotional because I am one person. I don't hide any emotions. I'll start crying in a drop of a dime because I've learned this, it's healthy, is let it go. But we are being the producers of our own life. I think that's one of the most powerful things we can do. And I tell everybody when God created man, first thing he did was gave us a job. And it's like, produce, get out there, grow, make things happen. We have a job to produce. He's the EP, the executive, the CEO, but we are producers and we have to get out and make stuff happen. And he will take care of the rest. So your story about Heavenly Deposit really encouraged me, George, because it was based on faith. You was like, okay, I don't know everything, but I'm gonna get out and do it. I'm gonna take the steps. And then God was like, okay, I got the rest. Now that you're taking the steps, you got off the boat.
Yeah. People have to understand that, faith is great and it's fantastic. We need it. We need him. But you also have to get off your butt. You have to do things.
Yes.
That's a fact. It's not going to happen on its own. You have to work. And
that's a good T-shirt. Faith is great, but get off your butt.
Get off your butt. And I will say this. I don't know why, but it's something is telling me to share this. You don't have to know how you're going to get things done. Your why has to be strong enough, and your trust in God will lead you through to get to what you need to do. That's
wow. I hear you loud and clear. I think I've been hearing that message. This is the second time this morning I've heard it from somebody. Our cousin, we were celebrating her medical school. She's finished medical school and no debt, but she was giving all her story about faith. She didn't have any debt with medical school, which is amazing. And, she's listed as like the top 25 under 35 in Northeastern Ohio as far as like the difference makers, all kind of crazy stuff. But faith, having that faith and trust in God. So now I just thank you guys, man. I usually ask for like a word of wisdom from my guests, man. Just dropped it. Like as we get ready to close out, I asked for a little word of wisdom for us to chew on,
Any parting words of wisdom?
That was it.
That was it. The only thing I would say is, again, from both George and I, like to humbly thank you.
Yes. And
Produce Your Own Life podcast for having us on your show. So thank you very much. And I want to leave you with these words that are not my words, but they're our beloved, dear friend Devon Russell. Be a star in this life and in the next. So thank you very much.
We can drop the mic. Be a star in this one, the next. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching, for listening to the Produce Your Own Life podcast. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. The listeners, you are the best part of our show. So we thank you for your support. And one of my mottos is life is a script. It's time to write yours. So with that being said, we're going to get out of here and say thank you very much. And we'll see you real soon.
Thank you, Rodney.
Thank you, Rodney.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening and watching the Produce Your Own Life podcast with Rodney Damon Collins. Be sure to rate, like, subscribe, and share on all podcast and social media platforms. If you have questions or would like to be a guest on the show, feel free to reach out to us anytime at produceyourownlifetv@gmail.com. Remember, life is a script. It's time to write your story. Until next time, produce your own life.